I don't understand, I said, my voice breaking as I stood in the doorway of her apartment. What do you mean you're leaving? She stared at me, her face pale but resolute. Her eyes, once filled with warmth, were now cold, distant. I'm leaving you, Alex, she said quietly. My parents, they think you're worse than my ex. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Worse than my ex? I could barely comprehend what she was saying. I don't even know what to say to that, I whispered. Stepping closer, my hands trembling. I thought things were fine. I thought we were happy. She shook her head. No, you don't get it, Alex. It's not just about us. It's about everything. The way you act, the way you treat me, and the way you treat my family. They've seen the way you've been toward me, and they're terrified for me. They don't trust you anymore. I felt a wave of humiliation wash over me. I had never meant to hurt her, never intended to make her family feel uncomfortable. Yet the truth stung. Is this really about them? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Or is this about something between us that you're too afraid to admit? She paused, looking at me as though weighing my words. It's both, Alex, but my parents' opinion, it's the final straw. They think you're toxic. They think you're bad for me. I stood still, processing what she was saying. The weight of her words pressed on my chest. Toxic? Me? I had always thought I was a good partner, supportive, loving, patient. But now I saw her expression, her eyes filled with regret, disappointment, and something I couldn't place. And I knew the reality was much different than what I had imagined. Please don't do this, I pleaded, my voice cracking. I love you, Emma. We can work through this. We always do. Please don't let this be the end. She took a deep breath, as though preparing herself for what she was about to say. I don't think I can do this anymore, Alex. I've tried, really. But I'm tired of pretending everything's okay. My family's right. You're not the person I thought you were. Her words cut deeper than anything I had ever heard. I wanted to scream, to demand an explanation, to beg her to stay. But something in her eyes told me it was too late. I'm sorry, she whispered, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. I never wanted to hurt you. But I can't keep living in this lie. And with that, she turned away, walking towards the door. My heart shattered as the sound of the door closing echoed in the silence of the room. I stood there, frozen, feeling the weight of the words she had left behind. Worse than my ex, that one phrase circled in my mind, unable to escape. The days that followed were a blur of anger, confusion, and regret. I tried to reach out, to talk to her, but Emma's walls were higher than ever before. Her family's influence, her fears, and the silent judgment had built a barrier between us that I couldn't break down. I began to replay everything in my mind, the small moments I had brushed off, the times I hadn't been the man I should have been. Was I really as bad as they said? Could I have done more to show her how much she meant to me? The truth was, I didn't know. But one thing was clear, the person I had become, the person she saw now, was someone I barely recognized. I had let my own insecurities and pride tear apart the one thing that had ever truly mattered. As the weeks passed, I tried to move on, but the ghost of Emma lingered in every corner of my life. I'd see her face in every crowd, hear her voice in the quietest moments. I couldn't escape the fact that I had lost her. One evening, as I walked down the street near her old apartment, I saw her talking to someone. The man's arm was around her, and they were laughing. It was as if the life I had known was slipping further away with every step I took. I wasn't sure what hurt more, the loss of her or the realization that I would never be able to undo what I had done. For the first time in a long time, I felt utterly alone. The world seemed to spin around me, leaving me stuck in this endless loop of guilt and regret. I had loved her truly, but I had failed her in ways I never thought possible. And now, all that was left were the echoes of her final words. You're worse than my ex. The sting of those words would haunt me for a long time. But the lesson, though painful, was one I would carry with me, that love, like everything else, requires constant care. And when you neglect it, the damage can be irreparable. And so I walked away, broken, but somehow, with a deep understanding that I could never take for granted the people I loved again.